Hello friends, I hope things move well there. In today's session, we are going to deal with the first chapter from the main course book, New Buzzword. Along with this video in the description area, I attached a PDF document of the first chapter as well as a written document of the session. I expect and welcome your doubts and feedback at the comment box. Hope you will enjoy this video. So my dear friends, let us begin George's Secret Key to the Universe. Let me speak a few words about the book. George's Secret Key to the Universe is a thoroughly enjoyable and informative novel about a boy's friendship and adventures with a scientist named Eric, his daughter Annie, and Cosmos, the most amazing computer in the world. This best-selling book provides a grand and funny adventure that explains fascinating information about our universe, including Dr. Hawking's ideas about black holes. It's a story of George, who is taken through the vastness of space by a scientist, his daughter, and a supercomputer named Cosmos. This book will take the reader on a roller coaster ride through the space to discover the mysteries of our universe and introduces children to the basics of astronomy. If I speak about the authors, I will say George's Secret Key to the Universe is a collaborative work of Catherine Lucy Hawking and Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, as you know, was a brilliant theoretical physicist, cosmologist, and author, and is generally considered to have been one of the world's greatest thinkers. Alas, he died in 2018. Catherine Lucy Hawking is an English journalist, novelist, educator, and philanthropist. She is the daughter of Stephen Hawking and writer Jane Boyle Hawking. She is a co-author of the George's Secret Key series for kids. She lives in London and is best known as a children's novelist and science educator. Now, let's go through the characters at a glance. There are 4 main characters in this story: George, Eric, Annie, and Cosmos. Let me begin with George. George is a little boy with enough aspirations and dreams. He is so curious to do adventure things and to grasp the facts about the vast darkness. The second character is Eric. Eric, a neighbor of George, seems to be a simple person but a great and brilliant scientist with a high intellect and caring nature. He knows how to use his scientific knowledge in a proper way and for the good of humanity. The third character is Annie. Annie is a daughter of Eric and becomes a companion of George later. The fourth character is Cosmos. Is a supercomputer that can do any incredible things. Dear friends, it's always interesting to go through the background of the story to get into the real mood of the story. So, let us see what is behind the story. There was a boy named George who had a mother, a dad, and a pet pig named Freddy. George's parents did not like technology or science because they thought technology and science would destroy the world. They are extreme technophobes. George was bored at home and wanted a computer more than anything else in the world. They didn't allow George to have a computer, to drink soda, and to watch TV. One day, George's pet pig Freddy escaped, and George was doing his best not to let on to his parents that the pig had once again done a disappearing act. George ran after Freddy and finally found Freddy in the kitchen of the abandoned house next door. The pig was happily drinking grape soda. So George went inside the abandoned house to take his pet. He found out that the house was not abandoned and a girl called Annie lived there with her father Eric. George's neighbors were Eric and Annie. Eric was Annie's dad. Inside the house, there were many books and notebooks filled with scientific information. The thing that fascinated George the most was Eric's special computer, Cosmos. Now, let's go into the chapter in detail, and today I will be dealing up to the page number 7.
Eric's computer was small and glossy. It looked powerful and neat, the sort of computer you might find on a spaceship. Eric hit a couple of buttons on the keyboard, and the computer made a sort of humming noise while bright flashes of color shot across the screen. He patted the computer happily.
You have forgotten something,
said a strange mechanical voice, and George jumped out of his skin. Have I? Eric looked confused for a moment.
Yes,
Said the voice.
you have not introduced me.
I'm so sorry, exclaimed Eric. George, this is Cosmos, my computer. George gulped. He had no idea what to say. You have to say hello to Cosmos, said Eric in a side whisper to George. Otherwise, he'll get offended. Hello, Cosmos, said George nervously. He'd never spoken to a computer before.
Hello, George.
Replied Cosmos.
I am the most powerful computer in the world. In the future, there will be computers more powerful than me, but there are none in the past or present.
Dear students, here the writer says Eric had a supercomputer. It was shiny and smooth. It was very powerful and a sort of computer one may find on a spaceship. Eric treated his computer, Cosmos, like a human being with all emotions and feelings. And moreover, he considered his computer as an intimate friend. When George entered Eric's house, he got fascinated and greatly surprised of the talking computer. Cosmos asked Eric to introduce him to the guest, George. Eric did so. George greeted Cosmos nervously, for it was the first time he had spoken to a computer. Cosmos struck a conversation with George and introduced itself as the most powerful computer the world had ever seen. Let's move to the next session.
Sorry about this, Eric whispered to George. Computers can be a bit touchy sometimes.
I am cleverer than Eric too,
Boasted Cosmos. Says who? Said Eric crossly, glaring at the screen.
says me.
Said Cosmos.
I can compute billions of numbers in a nanosecond, in less time than it takes you to say Cosmos is great. I can compute the life of planets, of comets, of stars, and of galaxies. Before you can say Cosmos is the most impressive computer that I have ever seen, he is truly incredible. I can...
All right, said Eric. Cosmos, you are the most impressive computer we have ever seen. Now, can we get on? I want to show George how a star is born.
No,
Said Cosmos. No, said Eric. What do you mean, no, you ridiculous machine?
he must take the oath.
Said Cosmos. Good point. Clever Cosmos, said Eric, leaping over to the blackboard.
Dear students, here the writer speaks about the posting nature of Cosmos. Cosmos boasted itself, saying that he is more powerful than his creator, Eric. Eric was not pleased with the statement of Cosmos, but Cosmos went on speaking of certain things that his master could not do with ease. Cosmos declared that he could compute billions of numbers in a nanosecond, and the life of planets, of comets, of stars, and galaxies even. Eric interrupted its talk and revealed his plan of showing George how a star is born. George was startled to see things Cosmos could do, but before it, they made George take an oath. Now we are moving to the next session.
George, said Eric, to learn about the greatest subject in the whole universe, are you prepared to take a special oath? To promise that you will use your knowledge only for good and not for evil. This is very important, George. Science can be a force for good, but it can also do great harm. George stood up straighter and looked Eric in the eye. I am, he confirmed. Then, said Eric, look at the words on the blackboard. It is the oath of the scientist. Read the oath out loud. The words of the oath made him feel tingly with excitement right down to his toes. He read the oath out loud as Eric had instructed.
Dear students, here the scientist Eric explains the importance of the oath that George has to take before his exploration into the space through cosmos. He further highlights the double nature of science. He says that science is like a double-edged sword. That means it can be used for both the good and evil of humanity. George confirms and prepares himself to take the oath. Now we move to the oath that George is going to take.
I swear to use my scientific knowledge for the good of humanity. I promise never to harm any person in my search for enlightenment. I shall be courageous and careful in my quest for greater knowledge about the mysteries that surround us. I shall not use scientific knowledge for my own personal gain or give it to those who seek to destroy the wonderful planet on which we live. If I break this oath, may the beauty and wonder of the universe forever remain hidden from me.
Friends, here a particular word is used, enlightenment, which means understanding. In this context, it is the knowledge about the universe. The oath of the scientist is a promise to use George's knowledge only for good and not for evil. It demands the fruitful use of the knowledge of the universe. It asks the oath taker to be faithful and warns him not to use scientific knowledge for personal gain or to destroy the planet. Friends, I hope you have enjoyed today's session. I would like to suggest you to read the rest of the chapter before our next session. So for the time being, let's call for the day. Thank you. Have a nice day.